Dear Ugandans, I promise that I'll be explaining to you the Northern War, how I grew up. I'm a real testimony from God, like in Jeremiah 29:11. For God has a plan for me. Friends, I may not be very audible because I'm learning to speak. I damaged my spine when I was tortured. By the time I was DP, national spokesman in Walk to Work. So those who are seeing me the first time, bear with me. Friends, I talked about a bomb story at the fireplace. I also told you that the young ones would prepare the fireplace and elders would come and sit around. The elders were our lecturers. Friends, I talked about Acholi justice system. Today, I want to tell you, I told you initially that we used to play many games. I said NRA, now UPDF, and headed by President Museveni, came in 1986 when I was hardly 7. Now I'm an old man with many children. Friends, I want to tell you what happened. We had gunshots in town. Said, what is happening? We find bombs come and hit the area. I remember my friend Opio and others in my village, Agwe, went to Bobo, near Obia Highland School where I studied P1. Later went and finished. I went up to P4 in Iskololo and came back to Gulu. I educated myself. I'll tell you how I managed to study from Ogwe to America. Friends, we started hearing gunshots. Then my grandmother, Megonora, and Uncle Amos, the old ladies, they passed on in 2016. We had over 20 goats and sheep and many chicken. Me and my brother Komakech, or Kecha, we had about 20 goats there together and we were pushing, making them reach our main village, Buchor. You remember Buchor, it's where people were buried alive. They were killed and buried alive by National Resistance Movement, or Army, now UPDF. Both LRA and NRA, that's why it's called brilliant genocide. I saw everything with my eyes. I survived by the skin of my teeth and many other Acholi. So when we started hearing the guns, many people in Gulu town left the city and when it's now a city, left and went to nearby villages as we went to Buchar. I remember in 1985, I was about 6 years. My Auntie Doreen and Katie were married traditionally. About 4-5 cows each and money, bride price. The husband of Doreen was called Oriang. It was interesting wedding. I'll talk about it later. So those cows were sent to Buchoro with my uncle, big uncle, called Opoka Manaji. From there we went to Buchoro. We had over 100 plus cows. For the first time we see cows, how they make the milk from cows. Forgive me, I may not be very audible because I'm learning to speak. Now, we would drink milk and so on. There were many balalos around homes and granaries, and around Acholi homesteads. Balalo were our cattle keepers. Now, those cows were all taken by 1987. Life was hard. So at the end of the day, we lived in Buchoro. We had all those cows who were taken. After 2 months, we went back home. Many stories accrued. I remember my mother picking, because we were learning how to shoot guns, young as we were. We had army rebels called Chilil. Chilil meaning go and report. Chilil, that's a meaning. And we were learning how to shoot guns. My friend Opio and others who went to Bobo, they were playing with the something. It was green net. They played with it. Someone opened it. It blew. About 5 children playing around. I was supposed to go with my friends, but unfortunately, Okwara and some others, they all died. That is the beginning of death in Acholi sub-region. Next time, I'll tell you more on the brilliant genocide and how my mother picked me with my brother Komaket and took us to Kampala. Worshippin. The skulls President Museveni met on the roadside, along the roadside, to tell how bad Acholi were. So Bagana and Acholi were kind of divided. Thank you so much for God and my country.